Greetings, fellow cruisers. This is Jeff from Enjoy Life Traveling. Today I wanted to do a follow-up video to our first video about cruising and all the comps that we got and free money. And the video did well, but there's also been questions about the process that we went through. And I wanted to show you what it's turned into, which has been a whole lot more lucrative than I thought when I did the first one even. So I wanted to just go through the entire process, give you some idea of the numbers and what it cost and where we're at now, because even from what we thought, from where we're at right now, it's turned into something much bigger than what we ever dreamed. And it's really that's the reason we started the channel, quite frankly. When we first started cruising, doing a YouTube channel was not a part of it. Getting a whole bunch of cruise comps was not part of it. We just wanted to go on our first cruise, have some fun with it. We were going to be with friends. This was September of 2022 on Explorer of the Seas. Again, we were with friends, we're having a good time, and we've played in casinos before. We know the process for land-based casinos and getting free rooms, and we've enjoyed that and done fairly well. But cruise ships are a little different. And again, this wasn't the goal sitting out to do this, was to become what it's become. But we were wanting to learn, and so that's what we did. We played some at the casino. Friends played some at the casino. Unfortunately, they played without their card in, so they didn't see the points we knew that we needed to. Tried to warn them. Didn't happen. They didn't see anything from that. But again, we played a little bit. We wanted to learn how to get the points, what it took to get the free cruises. And at this point, we're just kind of curious. We were really wanting to just enjoy our first cruise. And so that's what we did. We played in the casino some. We got some information. We got to take a look at the comps and the numbers that you need to get free cruises. And we just had fun with it. It got a few hundred points each. Nothing, no big deal. But we did that, and from that, we really learned the first lesson, which that we love cruising. It was a good thing. And so we started looking for the next cruise. We had already had a cruise booked, but it was a chartered cruise. It was still on Royal Caribbean, but it was a chartered cruise for the 80s cruise. And so you've got the actual bands on there. You're watching the bands, you're watching the interviews. You're not there for the casino, not that we didn't play. But that's not what you're there for. So we wanted to sail again. So we were looking for a cruise to buy, and we did. We found one that we liked. We weren't sure if we were going to book it. It was, I think, about $260 or so a person, and we kind of marinated over it for a few days. It was a 4-day trip to Cozumel out of New Orleans on Radiance of the Seas. So what we ended up doing was we waited just long enough, and they had what they call a flash sale. And on this flash sale, it was $190 a person. So again, it's a chance to cruise. We had the time. And so we jumped on it. We paid the money, did it. And it was just as magical as the first time. It's obviously different when you're sailing with friends versus sailing, with your loved one. And so it was a wonderful experience. The first thing we wanted to do was we wanted to look into the gambling that was there, because we enjoyed gambling. We did the land-based stuff. It was something we really liked doing. And it was a part of our budget. It wasn't something we were doing. We weren't at the time seeking out a free cruise, but we wanted to know the path, because there's a lot of times there's point levels that you want to get to go to the next tier and earn things. And what we found out was on that cruise is it was 800 points to get a cruise offer. And when I say a free cruise, cruise offer, this doesn't mean that you just pick any cruise you want. It means that it's a limited selection of cruises that you can take if you want. And we looked at it. We didn't necessarily have a cruise in mind, but we're very flexible as far as what we could do and what we needed to do. So we did that. We looked at that. Okay, it's 800 points. And so what we're going to do is we're going to play on one card. And we sat by each other, because that's how we like to do things. Is we sat by each other and just kind of took turns pushing the button. We played on minimum bets, and we just played it slow, enjoyed ourselves talking, and whatever happened, happened. Again, at this point, we're not targeting 800 points. We're trying to get the points up on one card to get the best chances of offers. And that's what we did. Again, we had a great time, and we ended up getting over 800 points. And as soon as we did that, we knew we had a free cruise offer from that. And we immediately switched to the next card and started building that one up. But again, we weren't targeting anything. We were just playing. We're having a good time. That card ended up with just under 300 points. And our total losses for that 4-night cruise and getting one card to 800 points and the other one to just under 300 was $140. That was our losses. So to get a free cruise for $140, at least we knew we had that from the instant cruise certificate. we're pretty happy. So we did that. We smiled and went about our merry way of getting off the ship. And what we found out is that the offers started rolling in at an incredible pace. I mean, we were at points of the time that when we were looking this up on the clubroyaleoffers.com, that, on the one card that we played, which was at that time Jennifer's card, the 800 points, she was sitting with times where there was 12 different cruises that we could take, cruise offers that we could take, and each one of those offers had a string of cruises that we could take. So, I mean, we had a lot of options in front of us. I mean, a lot of options. On the other card where we had the under 300 points, we started seeing offers, but they were $100 off mostly, $200 off. And so from there, I wasn't looking to book anything. We were pretty happy with the cruise that we had earned. We started getting cruise offers. And so what we ended up doing was we took the offer and went on Adventure of the Seas, and that was in February. That was the plan anyway. But again, the offers are rolling in left and right. And we looked at it, and another offer comes up, and that is for Adventure of the Seas also on the week that is joining to it. So it was an opportunity for a back-to-back. But what was fun on this is that, again, we got that on the card with the offers with the 800 points where we had that cruise that we already took. We were able to tack it on there, but the card with just under 300 points, they got the free cruise offer. So what we did is that we used that, but since we both had it and the codes were the same, that we were able to get an upgrade on the room. Now, hindsight being 2020, we probably could have booked those rooms separately. We could have booked those rooms separately and got double points for each of us. We went with a room upgrade, which went from instead of being an interior cabin for the offer, is we combined them and got an ocean view for the offers. And that was for the way back. So on one cruise, we have an interior cabin, and that was towards the back of the ship. We didn't know what we were going to get. And then on the other one, we were able to be a little bit more picky on it, and we got right at the front of the ship and an ocean view. And it was a beautiful room, probably one of the bigger rooms that I'd seen really on one of the ships. And that's probably its own video. But anyway, so we've got those two cruise offers. As the time's rolling in, and again, we're getting all these offers, there's an opportunity that we see that we have some time to squeeze in January, and that is on Liberty of the Seas. So we booked that. So from the offer that we received, again, $140 lost, we got the instant cruise for Adventure. We both got offers that were from the email version, so to speak, or the clubroyaleoffers.com version to where we were upgrades. So those two offers, and then we had this offer. Those are the ones that we took. We had plenty of others. So before we get to the February cruises, that extra cruise that we added in January, that four-night cruise that we took was on Independence of the Seas. Now, this was one of those learning opportunities because it's a 4-night cruise. We were tired as all get out. That's its own story. But we ended up, we picked up our pace. We were thinking about points more and enjoying the incredible amount of offers that we had. And so we started betting more. And that was a mistake because, one, we're playing machines that are more volatile. And again, I've got videos that are starting about the volatility. One's already out. And that makes a huge difference as to how you're going to do on these points and what you're going to get to try to earn free cruises to knowing what you're playing. We knew what we were playing, and we just wanted to play those other games. And quite honestly, a lot of times those high volatility games has a lot of stuff going. And so we wanted to do that. We felt like doing it. But that and betting a little bit higher sometimes cost us. And that one cost us about $1,400. And so that was a little harder to take. It's like, okay, well, I mean, luckily we had two other cruises going, plus we had the 80s cruise. So we had plenty of cruises just immediately coming up, but it was a bit of a lesson to learn. But unfortunately, I say it was a lesson, but we didn't learn it. But we'll get to that in a few minutes. So from there, we're on Adventure of the Seas, the first leg. So we've amassed some points between the first two cruises because on that second cruise, we did pretty significant betting higher on one of the cards, and so that one was getting pretty close to getting to prime, and the other card, my card, was sitting about 1,600 points away. But again, we've got the two adventure cruises, and we've got the 80s cruise that fall into the same casino fiscal year, so to speak, which ends at the end of March 31st. So here we are, Adventure of the Seas. Quick side note, love Adventure of the Seas. We thought it was a fantastic ship. Glad we went on it. Anyway, We ended up spending $660 on that cruise, and that put us to where Jennifer was over the top as far as getting Prime. So she was getting free drinks in the casino, and we didn't have a drink package on the first leg of this. We were doing back to back. We decided we were going to spend it on the second leg, and so we had the drink packages. I had the drink package on the second leg. She had the beverage package. Anyway, $660 down. She had made Prime, which means another free cruise. And so again, we're starting to work on the other card, and that one's starting to boost up to where I'm getting close to Prime. So move forward to the second cruise, back to back. Again, I love back to back. That cruise, we lost $540, and that cruise put me over the top for being Prime. So again, we've got another free cruise coming to us, and we're already getting inundated with cruises. And now at this time, I just think it's cool that we're getting free cruises. I hadn't put everything together like you're going to see at the end when I say things went crazy and how happy we were. I'm telling you, it's over the top, and you'll see. So again, we're on that ship. We made Prime. Now we both got free drinks. That free drinks package that we get for being Prime, besides the free cruises, is not only good for that year, which it was actually about to end the fiscal year, but it's good for the next year. So it's currently what we're working on, and that's good until 2025. So, and I say 2025, March 31st, 2025. So we go on the 80s cruise. We didn't get to really use the drink package because we had already purchased it. It's a part of the ticket. There isn't a choice to separate it. It's all adults. So that didn't help us. We did play in the casino a little bit, but it really didn't do us any good as far as being Prime. We got some offers. We felt like playing, and we did it. And because we did play, we were still seeing some offers come in, which again, we were pretty pleased about. So moving forward, we've got to do our 2 Prime cruises and figure out what those are because we're starting the new fiscal year. And you don't get that information until the end of April that you can book that. No matter when you get it in the year before, you will not get the information to book that until that time period there, where they send it to everybody in small stages between a few days, again, towards the end of April. And we were hoping to use this for a trip in September on Allure of the Seas because we were already going to do another Friends cruise in September. We had the deposit down, and the thought was maybe we can go ahead and just use the free cruise there and not have to pay for it. That didn't work out because I kind of drug my feet, and this is one of the lessons learned, is that when you get those free cruise offers, it does not mean that there's a cabin available. There may be cabins available, but they're not cruise comped cabins. So there's a difference. And as times went on, those tend to be more towards the end of the ship, quite frankly, the front or the back. We had to pay for that cruise, and that was for Allure of the Seas again. But what we decided to use one of our free cruises on was to still do Allure of the Seas because we were really intrigued by this ship. Hadn't been on something that big, and we decided to take the exact same cruise, the exact same itinerary the month before we were going to be on it with our friends. And we did that, and we loved it. It was amazing. So glad we did that. We used the comp cruise for that. We did some gambling, obviously. We wanted to keep the offers rolling in, and this is where the lessons, the hard knock lessons start to play in over the next few cruises here. So we're getting all these cruise offers, but we're also, this August cruise is the first one of the fiscal year. So we've got 0 points. We still have the drink package. We get 0 points. And we, instead of playing like we normally play, that low and slow game, to where we're playing the low volatility games and we're betting the minimum and we're taking our time, we're betting higher. We're betting, the middle of the road bets. We're betting even some higher bets in there. And it cost us. So while we ended up with over 1,200 points to get a free cruise, we used that for an Alaska cruise that we'll get to. We ended up losing $1,540 playing the slots, and that's more than what we care to do. That's not the game that we try to play. Some people, that's not a big deal. For us, it's a big deal, and you're going to learn what we've learned and what you can do going forward by just not doing that. If that's your game, go for it, not ours. So anyway, we lost that. We've got a free cruise. We got offers coming in. Fast forward to September. Now we're with friends, and we're still playing some slots, but we're not really playing as heavy because we're friends. But towards the end, we start playing. We start kind of having our own separation, people wanting to accomplish their own goals, the friends, and we separate a little bit more. So we start playing, but we don't have a whole lot of points that we've earned, so the bets start going up and up and up. So we ended up actually with a loss of that cruise of only $1,000, but it's only $1,000 because towards the very end of the cruise, I got on a couple of machines that were paying really well. And again, there's another lesson here. We would have lost a lot less. What I did is that because we were close to getting a free cruise, I stayed on the machines, and it was the last night of the cruise, and they're getting ready to close. So I've got to get to my 1,200 points, and I'm like 100 points down. But for that session, I was up, and so I started burning through with like 20 minutes to go. I'm not kidding, and I just max bet on a machine really that I shouldn't have even been on for doing max bets. It was a terrible idea. Again, another story. But I'm slapping the button as fast as I can. I mean, literally paying no attention to what's on the screen, not even enjoying myself, all because I'm trying to get to the free cruise offer, the free cruise certificate. Now, understand, we're already getting free cruise offers. So for me to do that in hindsight was like, well, why would you do that? Why play for those points when you're already getting free cruise offers? It may be different cruises, but what are you doing? Regardless, that's what I did. And I burned through probably about $400 of just losing playing a game, which was a terrible game to be max betting on, just to try to get points up. And I eked over the spot just in time, literally with a couple minutes to spare, to go over to the casino host, say, hey, I made it, have him get me the information, go down to next cruise, and fill out that paperwork so I can get the free cruise. Because that's what it was all about at that point. I was super excited because I had gotten the points on the first cruise in August, and I marry that with the points over 1,200 here. Now I'm sitting with my card almost at prime. Again, I already had prime drinks going for that fiscal year, but I'm working on 2020. I have my years mixed up, but I'm working on the year that I'm currently on, the year before, to get drinks. So that's what I do. I'm happy. I got my stuff. I got my thing. My wife. Hey, got a free cruise. Yay! For what that's worth. Anyway, we get the free cruise, and we get home, and we get offers again, and the offers come in, and we again don't have necessarily the time to take them all, but we found one more we could squeeze in for 2023. And what we did is we took Voyager of the Seas, and this was that eye-opening moment that it was one of those pivotal points, because we had just got done making mistakes, but apparently we didn't learn the lesson, and this time we learned the lesson. So we're on Voyager out of Galveston, and we're playing the slots, having a good time. We like slots, and for a slot ship, for a casino, that ship is probably more table games than it does, not probably, it has more table games than slots in respects to how it stacks up against the other Voyager class ships in the class. So that one's got more table games, and we're not necessarily thrilled with the games, but it doesn't stop us. We're playing games that are high volatility. We're playing that, the Huff and Puff, which is a fun game, but if you're you're not going to save money there. It's high volatility, and we're betting higher, and we're betting higher, and we're betting higher. And had it not been for my wife hitting a hand pay, because we're working on that card at the time, had it not been for that hand pay, we'd have lost $3,400. We ended up losing like $1,800, but we would have lost $3,400. And we're lucky that we had the hand pay, because that would have been a much harder pill to swallow. And even $1,800 was not a part of our budget. We were down, we were feeling it, and so we started betting higher, and we were betting spins that were like $8.80 a spin. I know people bet more than that, but that is not what we do. And with that, we got our hand pay that got us down, but I mean, we wouldn't even probably been in that bad a shape if we'd have just stopped playing and learned that lesson. But we did, and so from that point on, we were done with betting that way, and that's important for that's important for what you're going to hear going forward. Because of that, though, now that card is sitting right at the threshold of being prime for more free cruises, which means also more free drinks for that card, for that person, my wife, for the following year, and more offers. So we know that those are going to come rolling in. But unfortunately, we also know that there's only so much you can take. So, lesson learned. If you're gonna follow this video through the end and learn how to really do this, what we're going to show you how to do, it's important that that you follow that. Unless you're just wanting to burn money, don't do that. So anyway, we lost big. Now we're into 2024, but we're still in the fiscal year of 2023. And if earlier I said to 2025, I'm sorry, my mistake. But that's what I was trying to get to. I'm trying to go back 2 years and work through. Plus, I'm about to go into 2026 and everything that we've accomplished, or about to go into 2025 and everything that we've accomplished there, which will blend into 2026. So again, we got a free cruise offer because of the points on Voyager, and so yay us. But that was an expensive lesson, and I guess it's good we learned it, but we got it. So we start year 2024, but fiscal year we're still ending 2023, and we are on the 80s cruise. And we do the 80s cruise again. Our focus is not the gambling. We're there with the acts, with the original acts, and so that's our focus. We play in the casino, not a lot. But I had mentioned earlier that we had another free Prime cruise, and we had booked that one for Odyssey of the Seas a couple days after the 80s cruise. So we were trying to time it to where our transportation wouldn't be too bad. We're not paying to fly down one time and fly down another and then going back, flying down and back. We're trying to make this smart from a travel standpoint. Odyssey is my wife's Prime cruise that she had received last time. So I did Allure. She booked this one. We were running out of time. We weren't sure about that, but when we did the Voyagers, how we're going to work that out. So anyway, that's her free cruise. Now we've got 3 days in between there. And staying in Florida we knew was expensive, and so to try to figure out a way around that, we went on Margaritaville at Sea, which was like $75 a night per person. $75 a cruise per person, and they've got all the fees they put on there. It was probably 400 something odd bucks by the time we were done with it, but it's cheaper than a hotel. It tried to stay in Florida, and they were feeding us and giving us entertainment, and we had at least the basic drinks. We weren't going to, dehydrate or anything. We bought a couple cocktails, not much. Anyway. So in Margaritaville at Sea, we enjoyed the ship, but we really didn't gamble on that ship. On Odyssey, we did. So we're on Odyssey now, and we're betting low and slow, but we're playing some games that are a little bit more volatile. A lot of the games that were on that ship, we weren't we were familiar with them, but we were familiar with them being more on the medium to high volatility rather than the low to medium volatility. And so I played a game that I already knew was a bad idea, but I did it anyway. And in this particular case, yay us. I played Rake and Bacon, and I know that it already had eaten me alive once before on a cruise ship, trying to chase that pig popping, which, by the way, it doesn't matter if that pig is that big or that big. It is no closer to popping. That is a visual effect. It says it in the rules, and pretty much every game that you see like that, where the pots are going, whatever, it's a visual effect. Anyway, this time around, I hit a line hit. I hit a line hit betting 75 cents. Of over $1,600. So it's like, wow, this is awesome. For me, it was my first time to get a hand pay, certainly on a cruise ship. I didn't even play that much before I got on a cruise ship. So my wife had seen a hand pay before. I didn't know what one looked like, and I liked the way they look. So I get my hand pay, and we're feeling pretty good. And so we end up on another machine. I don't know if it was that day or the next day, but it was the Jin Lao, something or other with a tiger on it. You can get one with a tiger and one with like a bull, and the thing comes up on a short 3 reels, and if the thing comes up and then the other ones match up and you get the chance to get the bigger score, she's betting 50 cents, and she hits a jackpot of just under $1,200. So this is a good cruise. This is a real good cruise. We're up, and we probably could have stopped there. We didn't. We had one more lesson to learn, and that was about when you're winning, how to use it. And what we did is that we used that, and we wanted a free cruise, and maybe some of that was more me. But again, we were getting offers. We probably didn't need this, but I started targeting what I wanted to do. And I did. I kept playing and playing and playing. I could have stopped, and we'd have been up, $2,800, but we started playing. We started gambling higher, which is fine, but we had already hit Prime. It didn't really help us at all. But again, this is one of those things that you have to learn the lesson. As long as you learn from it, then I guess that's the main thing. But now we're working on money one. So we ended up actually winning about $1,200 total because we were gambling at a much greater pace. And we ended up with high points. Everything was great. We got plenty of cruise offers, which we're going to get into. and obviously a instant cruise certificate, and had some cruises to book. And that ends basically the 2023 fiscal year, casino fiscal year for cruising. So now we're going to move up to 2024, and our first cruise is Alaska. So I got the Alaska cruise from the instant cruise certificate that I received back in August when I was on Allure. That was the one I picked. My wife was going to be in Seattle for a conference, and so to go out of Vancouver was not a huge deal. We've been wanting to do Alaska. It's like it was her big thing in particular. It wasn't mine at the time, but I'm glad I went. It became my big thing in particular. So we got that cruise, and then from the September cruise, that one that I got free, we used that, and I took the time to book the leg back. So we were going from Vancouver to Seward, and now I've just booked Seward back to Vancouver for that free cruise offer. At that time, my wife wasn't sure that she was going to go on that cruise. It was just going to be a chance for me to chill out. We were with friends, and kind of a why not sort of a thing. It was the one that kind of made a little bit of sense from a transportation standpoint because I was already up in the area. Now, I told my wife that, because she was like, no, I'm not going to take off work. I'm like, you're so full of it. You want Alaska, you're coming. And she held her, nope, I'm not doing it, not going to spend the money. And it was an interior cabin, and I wanted a balcony anyway, and it'll be great. And I'm already going to see Alaska. Well, one of her offers that had come back before, and I want to say that was it was the Voyager one where we went crazy and had the over 2,000 points and spent too much. That gave us a balcony on Alaska on the way back. Now, I already had a balcony. I already had a cruise. So she booked the cruise and used hers to get a balcony. So we're staying in the same room coming back, but we've got two rooms, and she's going from staying in the room with me, it's an interior, to the balcony to enjoy that, because I stay up late and sleep in, and she wants to go to bed early and enjoy the morning and wants to enjoy the balcony. And the balconies, as far as I'm concerned, is just light in my eyes, and I don't care about them. So it really worked out for her. She loved that, the way it worked out. She woke up, she'd go to the room, she'd get coffee, and she'd get her, bagels and such, and you can get that delivered to your room free because it's part of the continental breakfast. And that was wonderful for her, and I could sleep in however long I wanted to. That Alaska cruise was what really put us to where we are now. And let me explain, because I realized what was happening with the cruise offers, and I was ready to take full advantage. And it was after the Alaska cruise that we decided that we were going to start this YouTube channel, because we realized what we had and the information that was there and the time that was available to do this. So first leg of Alaska, I lose 600 and she loses 300, and we do that in the first 2 days, which is basically about what we were budgeting for. Hopefully not even that much. We weren't really wanting to lose, not in 2 days. And when you're doing cruising and you're trying to get offers, it's about what you did on your most recent cruise. So if I gamble in the first cruise to Alaska and in the second cruise I don't, or I gamble a little, my offers are going to come off of what that last time on the ship was. What did I do? So if I skip it, I can't expect much in the way of offers. If I bet low, the more I bet, the more it's going to be. But as you saw, as long as you're betting and you're getting the points, it doesn't matter how much you're betting, or even if you're winning or losing. It just matters that you're playing and length of time and getting the points. So on that second leg of the Alaska cruise, we're back to where we should be, and we know what we need to do. And this is a plan. We're going to bet low, we're going to stay low, and we're going to play low to medium volatility machines. And that's what we do. And we get 2,000 points. I got 2,000 points on that card. Again, this is basically our first sailing back-to-back, but first sailing as far as the fiscal year for Royal for 2024. So 2,000 points for me and my wife, because we're targeting, we know what we're after. There's barcodes that you can scan, and you can see at each level that you hit what cruises are available. So again, we've learned our lessons. We want to know what cruise we're going on. We already know what we're getting offers, and they may not be the offers we want, but they had one, and we wanted to do Spain. So this was Miami to Spain, and that we played for. So on that cruise, I get over 2,000 points, and I get the instant cruise certificate to Spain. And then my wife, she goes ahead and builds her points up to 1,200 because she's able to get an offer with a similar code that we married together. She gets a similar code that's married together with it, and so we're able to get that and get a situation to where, first of all, I don't want the upgraded room, but that's available to get the port view, and then we got money. They're offering us free money to play, and with the onboard credit that comes with doing the next cruise, we've got some of that too. And so that light's going off is that we're about to get a 12-night cruise going from Miami to Spain. And what it cost us was about $700. That's what it cost us. So we've got the instant cruise certificate, and we've got another one for Jennifer that's given us a 12-night cruise to Spain. $700 is what it cost us, and they're giving us money, both of us money, $150, I believe. Mine might be a little more, hers a little less, because I had more points to play. So the losses are minimal. But again, we've played all these points, though $700 isn't much. This allows us, again, I talked about before how we had all those offers and we were not taking them. Well, now we got a plan. So when those offers started coming in, and again, we're off the ship at this point and we're making our plans, we see that these offers are rolling in just like before. And now we're going to do a YouTube channel. Now we're going to show people what we've learned. And so besides those free cruises, I book 3 consecutive cruises on Brilliance of the Seas. And that's not all by a long shot, because the offers are rolling in. So again, we're picking these. I could pick other ships and do all the other crazy things. So if you're thinking, well, it's Brilliance, it's not Brilliance. That's the ones I picked. I wanted to do. I wanted to go out of New Orleans, and I wanted to be on Brilliance. I like the Radiance class of ship, and I wanted to do Cozumel. I'm looking forward to doing YouTube videos, and I think Cozumel is a great port. And instead of just wisping through the beaches that I've been to them all, I want to actually go down and I want to record them in detail. That is just incredible, so you guys can see each one for fully what it is and who it's for. So I booked these 3 cruises, but there's more. I've got offers, and I take it. I got one for Grandeur, and I take that, and that's 9 nights. We get offers for Jewel, and that's 9 nights, and I get an offer for Mariner. I mean, I say offer. I could have taken any of them, but I took the ones for Mariner. Mariner's 4 nights. Again, I had plenty of longer ones I could have taken, but it butted up against other cruises. So the flights I'm just taking one flight and getting multiple cruises out of it. So that's the thought process when I'm doing this, is I'm trying to get as much out of it without costing me. And each one I do have to pay port fees and taxes on. So when I say free, it is free for the cruise. The countries want the port fees, and the taxes are going to be there regardless. And those are, when you're doing the Caribbean, those are usually in the low $100 a person. So I've got those coming. Long story short, right now, and I just got off, I haven't even got to this yet, but I've just got off of Wonder of the Seas, the first Wonder of the Seas, which was one of our cruises that we got for free coming into this year from our Prime cruise. And we got a bunch of points on that, but I haven't seen the offers just yet. Those haven't come through because I did that, and I did a short one on MSC that I paid for because I wanted the experience on MSC and see what those do. So I got 2,000 points on Wonder, and I got 1,200 points on MSC because I want to see what their offers are. And that's going to be a later video. So if you're curious to how those offers and what I get, I'm only telling you what I got basically off the Alaska cruise right now, with the other Prime cruise on Wonder, and I already mentioned the 80s cruise that we're doing, and the transatlantic cruise that we got a free cruise offer. I am sitting on 9 free cruises from Royal Caribbean that I'm going to take by May. I get on the last of those 9 on April 31st. That's the 12 nights to Spain. That's a lot of cruises in that period of time, but it's going to allow me to get some videos to show you guys. Plus, and this is when, pay attention. I took the offer, I took a screenshot of what I had done I had booked even several of them, but I still had like 3 offers showing from the clubroyaloffers.com to show that I was getting free offers. And I wanted to try another cruise ship. So I look and I find out that Virgin's got one that butts up to what I'm wanting to do. So on a Sunday night, I email Virgin and I say, hey, I'm requesting a free cruise based on what I'm getting on Royal Caribbean's free offers. Will you comp it? 48 hours later, I have a free cruise offered because I tell them exactly which one I want and they give it to me. I get the free cruise. So I've got 10 free cruises, 9 on Royal, 1 now on Virgin, and they're comped other than the 80s cruise, which like I said, you got to pay for that one. So all this stuff to send you, and I've still got offers coming in. And I just got off of Wonder, and I just did another 2,000 just like I did in Alaska. So the what have you done for me lately should be flooded with offers. And if you want to see what those offers are, plus MSC and see what happens with that 1,200, because I don't know. I mean, I'm learning what MSC is going to do. It's a little bit more confusing. I guess not crazy. Once you're used to it, you're used to it. But I didn't completely understand what they were saying. But if you want to know, that's going to come out in about a month, maybe a little bit more. By somewhere early November, before we go on the next Wonder cruise, that video is going to be out, so you can see what offers I got from Wonder and what offers I got from MSC and what the value is to it. So again, I already got 9 cruises. And the other thing I want to bring up is I chose to do the Virgin. I could have picked Carnival. I could have picked Princess and went on those, because these companies, that's what they do. They want you they want you. You're a gambler. And what they're seeing is that you're getting free cruise offers. See if we can get it to their casino on their cruise line. And so I didn't send them yet because I've got too much. And the only free time, I mean, I'm going to be cruising November, December, January, February, March, April, May. October, I'm kind of taking off. I thought about doing more, but I've decided to kind of take October off. And kind of, I want everything to be as good as possible. And I'm still learning how to do the YouTube thing. So I want it to be the best. And learning how to use everything. But it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. So, but what you might be wondering is, how did I do it? What's the processes? I mean, I've kind of covered and said what they gave me, but how do you get there? What do you do? And that first video I put out, that's what that does. It tells you, explains all of them, explains some of the free money. Because I'm pretty sure I forgot opportunities where I've already been given free money to play on some of the cruises coming up and the ones we got off of. Because there's a lot going on, and being new to YouTube, I'm still trying to figure out what information I need. And obviously, how much we spend and the points is something you guys are interested in. So if you want to really learn how to cruise and get those free cruises coming to where you just have so much to choose from, whether you want to pick one or you just want to take a whole bunch of them, if you don't want to lose your butt, what you need to do, and this works, is you need to watch this video right here. That's a winner. See you in the next video.